Good evening and welcome to tonight's stream. I think I'm on my own tonight. Don't really know what we're going to talk about. I haven't got anything really planned. Might have a game of Cold War. Hopefully we'll get some people joining us. We had 5 or 6 people waiting and then they all disappeared. We've got 2 people waiting at the moment or watching at the moment. Thanks for coming along. Friday night stream, 8:30. We always do it unless I've got something else on, like a holiday or something like that, where I can't possibly do it. So tonight, I think I'll just have a chat, see if anyone pops along, and then probably have a game of Cold War or something like that. If there's anything you want to chat about in the chat box, let me know, and we can have a discussion. Like I say, nothing really planned tonight, just sort of come live. I'll probably, like I say, play a bit of Cold War, the game that everyone seems to hate, and I have a lot of fun playing it. Skill-based matchmaking is a bitch, but, you know, it is what it is. If anyone's watching and you're not subscribed, please press that subscribe button. Everything helps. So tonight I want to talk about the hype on Battlefield 6. We actually sort of said a bit about this last week. The fact that a lot of people left the game and they started playing Warzone because Battlefield 5 was not very good. I didn't like it, and it's probably the first one that I really found offensive. So I'm really optimistic about Battlefield 6, but what's bothering me is we're going to get the regular faces coming back and saying they know nothing about the game. They don't know what the game's going to be. They have no idea about the game. And yet you'll find in a few months' time, they'll probably say that, yes, I knew what the game was. I've played the game, or I've played a build of the game. And they start making these videos with clickbait thumbnails saying, you know, I wonder what the next Battlefield game's going to be. Let's see what we would like to see. And we all know too well that they've already played the game and they know exactly what it is. That's one of the things that I don't like. Another thing I wanted to touch on was this is probably the first time that I will not pre-order a Battlefield game. I know a lot of people say that you shouldn't pre-order games basically full stop. And I'm getting to the point where I'm doing that now. I don't pre-order any games because, you know, you found that you are pretty much let down all the time. So I've decided that I definitely am not going to be pre-ordering Battlefield 6. I don't suggest that you shouldn't do that. But I am going to wait this time because Battlefield 5, I went and bought the deluxe version. What did we get for it? Pretty much nothing. It's an absolute mess, but, you know, I'm really optimistic. I've got to be optimistic because it is my favourite franchise, the Battlefield franchise. So I have got to be optimistic about it. I think it's going to be modern. People who are starting with the hints and starting with the teases, your Westies, your AK Arts, your Lossy, Tactical Brit, people like that, are, you know, saying, oh, we pretty much think it should be modern. You know, most of those people know it's going to be modern. If not all of them are game changers, DICE friends, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, they know exactly what's going on. So don't be fooled by... I'm going to say it, don't be fooled by their lies, because that's what basically they will be telling you. They know exactly what the game is all about. Just want to say cheers. I'm going to have myself a little, should we call it apple juice? But it's not apple juice, obviously. So I don't know what your views are on what the next Battlefield is going to be. Do you think that the... Battlefield YouTubers that are now playing Warzone will come back to Battlefield, and do you think they'll deceive you and give you one of my favourite words, misinformation about the new Battlefield that's coming out? I know they do it for views. I know they do it for subscribers, because, you know, that is, and I've got to be perfectly honest about it, that is the name of the game. But I like to think that I try and not deceive the subscribers. I tell them as it is. A lot of people don't like it. I have a lot of arguments on the internet, on Twitter. I have people coming at me in my YouTube videos. And you know, if you need to do that, you need to do that. But I just tell it as it is. I'm not held back by being a DICE friend or an EA game changer. Doesn't interest me. It never will interest me. Felix, you reckon it'll flop? I'm not sure. Maybe it will. I mean, Battlefield 5, we're all looking forward to that because it's a World War II game. We all wanted that. And it wasn't, pretty much it wasn't the game that, you know, that we all wanted. There was no Russian faction in it. The Pacific came far too late in the game's lifespan for me. And then they pretty much dropped it. So I don't know what the fuck went on with it. Proton, how you doing, mate? On my own tonight at the moment. I'm in streamers chat if anyone wants to join me tonight who has access to streamers chat. We usually leave that open for the people who come on the mic and actively come on when we do podcast and the likes. But again, yeah, I've heard a lot of people saying, just to go back to what Felix says, he reckons it'll flop. There's a lot of people that think that way. They think it's going to be a reskin of Battlefield 5, which people thought was a reskin of Battlefield 1. And, you know, I don't think the next game will be a reskin, but we touched on this last week. I'm really worried. And the reason I'm worried is because a lot of the good developers have left after Battlefield 5. I'm not sure if it was because of Battlefield 5. Apart from that dick Patrick Soderlund, he left. But apparently they've made a new studio and they're making a futuristic game. I forget the name of the studio and I forget the name of the game. I should have actually researched that beforehand. How are you doing, Slavic? Nice to see you, mate. Yeah, so I'm not sure what the studio is. I don't know if someone can Google it. I think Patrick Soderlund is the CEO, but it's all DICE, old DICE developers that have pretty much moved away, and they've made their own studio. And let's have a look. Battlefield 1 was just a reskin of Battlefront. TTK was the same at launch. Pretty much, you might be right. But Battlefield 1 got a lot of hate. I actually quite liked it, in all fairness. I thought it was a decent game. But I only ever played that. Well, I didn't. I tell a lie. I played it afterwards on the PC. But predominantly, I played Battlefield 1 on the Xbox. But yeah, if anyone's out there who could Google ex-DICE developers who have made a new studio and they're bringing out, apparently they've got 2 games, and I know one of the guys who left was one of the guys who was involved in the creation of the Frostbite engine. I've seen some clips of the game, and it's like a space, not space type game, but futuristic sort of game, which is not usually my cup of tea, but it looks so much like a Battlefield game. It's unbelievable. I don't know if anyone could Google that for me. I know Patrick Soderlund is the CEO of this new company, but if they can bring stuff out that, even though I'm not Patrick Soderlund's biggest fan, if they can bring out games that, you know, got me really into the Battlefield franchise, like Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, etc., then I think they could be in a bit of trouble. Embark Studios, thanks very much, Andy. Yeah, Embark's what it's called. Yeah. Embark Studios, that's right. I don't know if you've seen it, Andy. Have you seen the clips that have been knocking about the internet? I should have researched this, actually, but usually what happens is when I come on to the stream, I've got a game loaded up. I might play Cold War, but what I usually do is just start chatting away. Yeah, Embark Studios, but I'm going to keep my ears and eyes open for that, because that could be very interesting. I think Patrick Soderlund if he's not learnt his lesson for what he said and did when Battlefield 5, even before it was released, but the life cycle of Battlefield 5, then he's fucked. They need to get rid of him straight away. I know he's got a lot of influence, but you know, influence is not everything. Us gamers out there, what a game that we want to play, and the people out there who are interested in the Battlefield franchise, I think are shouting now for a modern game or near future game. And I think it'd be an ideal opportunity. Flat 5 video. Yeah, actually, Andy, I think after I'd seen the clips, I think a couple of days later or a day later, I'd seen Flackfire's video. It's really interesting. Like I say, I'm not one for futuristic games, but I think I could get interested in the studio itself. Yeah, Soderlund's a fucking idiot, to be honest. He's done with me. You know what I mean? People, it's like myself, there's people, you know, I'm not their cup of tea. They don't like how upfront and brash I am, and when I've got something to say, I say it. But there's certain things you can say, and when you tell, you know, a community who, you know, pay a lot of money for a AAA game, when you say they're uneducated and if you don't like the game, don't buy it, then that's not really a good move. It'd be like me saying, you know, when I'm trying to get subscribers, it'd be like me saying, look, if you don't like me, just fuck off. Do you know what I mean? You just wouldn't say it. So yeah, quite interested in that. In Back Studios, I'll make sure I remember that. Cheers for that, Andy. But I don't know what particularly has been going on. One thing that was going on, I think it's finished now, 21st. Yeah, yesterday. Battlefront was available. Battlefront 2, I think, was available for free on the Epic Game Store. I've actually got it, so you know, I had it anyway. But I actually got it anyway. I don't know why, because I used to play. I think I used to play that again on the Xbox, but I don't know. But yeah, is anyone else interested in Back Studios? Again, thank you, Andy. I think it could be a really interesting development studio that we should all pretty much keep our eye on. If they could create something like the Frostbite engine and not just on graphics and sound within the engine itself, and could concentrate more on gameplay, I think they could be on for a winner. Probably not interested initially in the futuristic games, but if they could turn that something into a military modern shooter, then yeah, pretty much I'm well interested. So what I'm going to do, I think, let's have a look. I'll fire up Cold War anyway, and put it on that. Change the screen a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people not liking Cold War. What are your thoughts on Cold War? Hang on, let me put this. Let me just put it back to this one again. Because my browser keeps going for some reason. Let's have a look. Don't know why it keeps doing that. So let's put this up. Every time I try and do this stream, something always happens. Let's have a look. What's not liking? Right, okay, so yeah, everything seems, my browser's just disappeared for some reason. So I can't really see the chat. Let's have a look. Something, Control Delete, need to do that. Get up the task manager and try and sort this out. Let's see what's playing up. Let's have a look. And everything's been working perfectly fine. Suddenly I come on to actually do the stream. What doesn't it like? Let's have a look. So it's Windows Explorer itself. Let's see if I can restart that. Let's have a look. Yeah, I really, Felix, I've got to, I've got to admit, I'm having fun with, let's have a look. I'm having fun with Cold War, but can't see the chat at the moment. Let's have a look. Every time I try and load that bloody game up. Let's have a look. Oh, no. It's failing. Don't know what's happening. Right, okay, chaps, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream for 5 or 10 minutes. I need to try and sort this out. Everything's going a little tits up at the moment. I'm on 3 monitors at the moment. Look out for your notifications. I'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes.